Today we are going to complete lesson 12.4, multiplying and dividing rational numbers. This is on page 540 of your textbook. Today's purpose is to multiply and divide positive and negative rational numbers so that we can apply this skill to real-world situations. Okay, first off, our key idea is going to be on multiplying and dividing the rational numbers. To multiply or divide rational numbers, we are going to use the same signs and same rules that we used for the signs in integers. So, for example, if I have negative 2/7 times 1/3, I'm going to multiply the fractions just like I would normal fractions. And then my answer is going to be negative because I have one negative in the original problem. Taking a look at the second example, this time I'm dividing. So I need to first apply the rule for dividing fractions. Now it's been a while, so remember the rules for dividing fractions is keep it, change it, flip it. So I'm going to keep the first fraction the same, negative 1/2. I'm going to change divide to multiply, and then I'm going to flip over or use the inverse of 4/9, so it becomes 9/4. Then I multiply like normal. 1 times 9 and 2 times 4. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. I end up with negative 9/8. We cannot leave our answer improper, so making it proper again. They left it at negative 9/8, but honestly, the better answer here would be negative 1 and 1/8. 9 divided by 8 can go in one time, and then I have 1/8 left over, so negative 1 and 1/8. Okay, so here's our first one. It is a division problem of mixed numbers. Remember, before we divide mixed numbers, we have to make them improper. So if we take a look at the estimating side, this is just to give us an answer of whether our answer makes sense when we get to the end. If I take negative 5, divide it by 2, I'm going to get negative 2.5. So we're looking for an answer that's around negative 2.5. First thing, make the fractions improper. Step 2, keep it, change it, flip it. Step 3, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. Step 4, I have negative 78/35. But to simplify it or make it proper again, it would be negative 2 and 8/35. Then we need to think, is this reasonable? Would 2 and 8/35 be almost 2.5? And the answer is yes, it's reasonable. It is close. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but instead of fractions, we're going to have decimals, and instead of dividing, we're multiplying. So, first thing I want you to do when you're multiplying decimals, even if one's negative, ignore the negative until the end, just like we did with integers. So, multiply. Remember, when you get your answer, you need to count however many places are after the decimal. We're going to move the decimal back 2 places because there were 2 places after the decimal in the numbers being multiplied. I come up with the answer negative 9. Okay, now let's see if our answer makes sense. Negative 2 and 5/10 would be approximately, well, it's exactly 2.5. And times 3 and 6/10 is approximately multiplying it by 4. So if I take 2.5 and multiply it by 4, negative 2.5 times 4 is going to give me negative 10. My answer of negative 9 is close to negative 10, so it is a reasonable answer. Let's now talk about a real-life application for multiplying positive and negative rational numbers. Okay, this example says that an investor owns stocks A, B, and C. What is the mean change in value of the stocks? So remember, anytime a stock decreases in value, it's a negative change. Anytime it increases, it's a positive change. So in this, we're going to start by adding together the three numbers, the change in value, and then when I get that answer and it happens to be negative 333 and 63 hundredths, when I am finding the mean, recall that you have to divide it by the number of numbers you have. I have three numbers, so I'm going to divide it by 3. And my answer is 111 and 21 hundredths. Because I only have one negative, remember our integer rules apply, so my answer is negative. So the mean change in values in the stocks is $111.21.